Episode 2, Oliver Davies, DOP and Cinematographer, Life Behind the Camera. Join your host, Thomas Clark, as he interviews his first of many guests on the podcast. Find out what made Oliver get into film and why he chose to pursue life behind the camera. They also discuss budgeting, financing films, along with where the indie filmmaking scene is in Brighton and in general. So, lend me your ears as we dive into the Zero Budget Filmmakers podcast. So, Oliver Davies, is my DOP. I've used him quite a few of my shorts now. We started off on A New Bloom together. You like Undesirables.
Love it, yeah.
Undesirables, you're DOP. You've also DOP'd for Heart of the Fair that we've done together. Mainly, he's done most of my projects as a DOP.
Yeah, only if I'm not.
What have you done that's not with me?
Oh, wow, okay. So, a little bit about myself. Started off doing sort of music videos. Well, really, if we start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning.
I've done, photography really is where the passion really started. So I've done wildlife photography, nothing really ever getting paid for, just a passion of mine. I remember first sort of thing that got me into it is when I used to take photos of my nan's cat, and she said, "You know what? They're pretty good." And I went, "Oh, they're not too bad." So after that, just started doing it a little bit more, then started getting my own sort of cameras. So first camera that I got was a bridge camera, and was sort of like built-in zoom, everything like that. Just as a point and shoot camera. Great camera, and that sort of spiraled from there, really. Took a break. Yeah, took a break from it from a bit. Not really sure that I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And then, we just sort of got back into it. Starting to love it. And then, started off with music videos, doing all that. And then after that, started to go into short films.
Yeah.
I would say with New Bloom, we'd done that together, but that was more of a feature film. 40-minute in length. Wasn't really prepared for it, from being honest. I think it was something...
None of us were.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that we could prepare for. It was a challenge. I've done a spec ad for Arc'teryx, which is obviously, if no one knows what a spec ad is, it's when you just pretty much make a free advert, hoping that they'll see it, which they didn't, but that's absolutely fine. So that was shot on 60mm. We've done India with Julie. That's another short film that I've done. That's not with you, Tom, unfortunately.
It's not.
Sorry, mate. Which I'm really proud of, and that was shot on 60mm, sort of a silent film.
Magic.
You've done quite well.
Yeah.
Let me think, what else have I done? Let me have a little look.
But whilst you're thinking of that, like, I obviously know you have a day job on the side, but I know you recently said to me that you're thinking about taking the jump to do your shorts and your little promo videos and your spec ads, like something like that, full time.
Yeah.
But what is it that you do day job wise?
So day job, work in a call centre, which I absolutely hate, if I'm being honest. Don't like it at all.
We won't name and shame the brand that you work for, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it. Great people work there. It's taught me a lot about myself, I guess, sometimes, but yeah, it's not very creative. I feel like I'm a very creative person.
Okay.
And I feel like I always probably have been a very creative person.
Where do you think you got your creativity from?
I don't know. My mum and dad, I guess. There's a big step to play in it. My mum and dad have always been, watching films.
So what did you grow up watching?
Oh, John Carpenter.
Okay.
Big Trouble in Little China, The Fog, The Thing, a lot of his films, and that's my, favourite filmmaker, director, John Carpenter. Shout out him.
Nice.
If you're watching or listening.
If we get John Carpenter listening, I think the podcast has made its peak.
But, for me, that was nostalgia for me. Them films are so nostalgic, and they're films that I always rewatch and go back to all the time.
So no, I was going to say, if you could have 3 people that are in the film industry over for dinner,
good one.
Who would they be?
It's a tough one. Okay, I would say Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah, nice, good one. Okay, so I would have Hoyte van Hoytema, who was a cinematographer, currently still alive. So
yeah,
and let's keep him going, keep him alive. Yeah, look up to him a lot. Big idol of mine, favourite cinematographer.
Second one.
Second one would be Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
Kubrick.
Yeah, don't embarrass yourself.
How could you not want to have it with him? Greatest filmmaker of all time.
Oh, maybe. Better than John Carpenter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
And third?
Third probably would be John Carpenter. Probably would be. As I absolutely love his films. So I think, it would be them 3.
Any close fourth?
Close fourth. Probably Darren Aronofsky. I think these are all directors though,
Aronofsky.
but I do like the films. I do like the films. Would have thought cinematographers, but yeah, I think they're all very passionate, as you can see from them films, and very driven, and they know how to make a good film and shoot a good film. So
There
yeah,
you go.
that's me.
That's all right. That's you, is it?
That's me.
So we're talking about your credits, and we've spoken about John Carpenter. But if I was to say to you right now,
Mm-hmm.
name in 10 seconds,
Yeah.
name your top 3 films.
Oh, okay.
So you got
So
10,
okay,
9.
The Whale, 2001: Space Odyssey, and then Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. To not think about. I mean, I have a list on my phone of the films I love.
So just in like one sentence for each
Okay.
film. Why The Whale?
Okay. Well, one sentence.
One sentence. One sentence. Don't think about it. Just
I would say
go for
The
it.
Whale. It's not gonna be one sentence, but it's emotionally, and it made me really feel after watching the film, and I felt it for like 3-4 days after. It
Okay.
really affected. I think it really affected me. It's a film about passion, about love,
Nice.
um, and it's just sad. It's just very, very sad, and I do like a sad film.
That's fine. And your second one was
The second one was 2001.
2001: Space
So
Odyssey.
2001 was another film that I did watch when I was well, much younger, with my dad. So it has that nostalgia for it. But I recently went to the cinema probably like a year, no, probably about a couple months ago and rewatched
It was
it.
only in recently, yeah.
Yeah, me and my mate Zach and my dad, we went and watched it, and I got the full feel of it there. I mean, it's a very old film. I think it's like 1964. Maybe don't quote me on it. It's definitely
I
1960s.
won't quote you on it.
But yeah, it's an old film, but still just amazing, and it gives you that feel of like you come out of the cinema and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
like what have I just watched and what is that about? And I think sometimes with cinema, that's the best thing, sort of not knowing really what it was all about, but sort of just wondering that whole time and not getting that
Nice. And what was your last choice? What was that last one you said?
The last one was Big Trouble in Little China,
One sentence.
and I
Why?
think probably that's my favorite film of all time.
Big Trump, Little China. I've never watched it.
Oh
So,
god, it's so
why should someone
it's
watch it?
not a serious film. It's a funny film, but at the end of the day, it's nostalgia for me. It's a film that I watched with my dad that I absolutely loved, and I rewatch that most nights. Once
You watch it most nights.
once a week. I think probably I will watch that.
So
film,
that's like one of your favourite films. When was it
Yeah,
made?
It is. That was 1980 something.
And so your dad got you into it.
That got me into it. Yeah, probably.
And what is it, like a big budget film, a low budget film?
Yeah, I think it's quite big budget. Yeah, it was.
So if you put a
early days
guess,
of John Carpenter.
where would you think the budget would lie on it?
Mm.
Ballpark figure.
Oh, okay. I don't know because this is like more
Because you're talking
back in
60s.
the day, right?
Yeah. I assume you're
No,
talking
this is 80s.
80s.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, so not too far. 40 years ago.
Let's
Which-
say 10 mil.
10 mil for it.
10 mil.
Okay. So it's still a pretty decent budget. I won't
Yeah.
quote you on it. Don't panic.
No, don't quote me on it because
So-
that's a complete guess.
So you see, this is the
But
thing.
for me, this is why I judge it because this is a film that's later on in John Carpenter's career. So
Okay.
he's done a couple classics, and then done this one. So
Right. The budget was quote you
25
for
mil.
it.
25. God, I'm off.
So this is kind of where I want the podcast to go is that
Yeah.
you can underestimate a budget
Mhm.
by a long shot, and this is why I've started the Zero Budget Filmmaking podcast
Yeah.
because a budget to the filmmaker's eye in general, we can be off as you just were by 10 mil
Yeah.
easily,
Mhm.
and yet someone that doesn't watch film could be off by a good 100 mil
Yeah.
to 500 mil at least.
Mhm.
So I guess the next question for you I have is what do you say is zero budget?
Oh, so zero budget. I think for me is people who are just passionate and they want to make something great. That's what I think. I honestly think zero budget is people who don't. No one's getting paid. Maybe food is paid by someone who's generous enough, but sometimes it's not always the case. But zero budget is people doing it for free. All they're going to get out of it is credits and having a good time and meeting people. And I think that's what filmmaking is all about. Just being there for the ride and having a good time.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you said it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
people being unpaid and like maybe having their food
Yeah, I think
reimbursed.
so.
So
I think
what
if you
what would you
Yeah.
expect out of a zero budget project other than just a credit, as you said?
what would I expect out of it?
So you've gone onto a zero budget
Okay, I
filmmaking
would expect
podcast of
them to,
filmmaking podcast.
the people who have arranged it to be passionate enough to try and push it as much as they can. So
Right.
so it maybe gets to some film festivals, or some people get some sort of a reward out of it. That's what I would expect. That's why I would do it, because you'd want someone to be passionate enough about it to really push the project and just to sort of believe in the project, I would say.
Okay. And do
Mhm.
you think like zero budget filmmaking has a future?
I think so. Yeah. Why not? Why not? I mean, people need to get paid at the end of the day for what they do, and if
They do. I agree.
if someone is really good at what they do, I think payment is important, because sometimes for me, payment is important because it gets me more on board of the project, I would say. It gets me more passionate, because sometimes if I'm not getting paid about something, not getting paid on a project, I sort of think, why should I bother? I'm not getting paid. If
So
I
do you
don't
think you're money
believe enough in
driven?
it. I don't know if I'm money driven, no, but I think sometimes for me, it is better to get paid, and then I can be more on board.
So when you look at a
Because you have other
project,
people in my ear, it's not just
yeah.
me, it's family and friends that go,
Oh yeah.
well, you should be getting paid.
Pay
You're
for this.
you're good at this now. You should never, as the Joker says, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
It's very true. 100% is
But
very
it
true.
is
So
true. It's true. You should get paid for what you do. And if you're a master at your craft, you should pay someone for that, because that shit shouldn't come free.
and this is exactly like another thing, as I was saying in the first episode, I was like, if there's
Mhm,
paid work there,
mhm.
take the paid work.
Yeah,
Like we all would. I would as well.
100%.
Um, and this is why as I was saying, I think film zero budget filmmaking podcast is
Yeah.
the film podcast. Zero budget
Don't get
filmmaking.
me wrong, though. I'm just going to say now, just to interrupt you. Don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes it's not always about money, and then sometimes I don't
100%.
care about that. But for you, instance,
Yeah.
we do stuff for free, and we do it together, and I love doing that, and
Yeah.
I will always continue doing that. But someone to reach out to me who I don't know and be like, "Oh, can you bring all your lighting gear? Can you bring all your equipment that costs a lot of money that I've had
Yeah.
to save up and pay for?" And it's a bit like, it's a bit cheeky, and sometimes I don't get a thank you, from
No,
people, and
obviously.
that's happened to me on set before, where I've bought all my gear. I've given my knowledge and my expertise on set, and sometimes you don't get a thank you, and that's a bit of a slap in the face for me.
It definitely is. 100% it is.
Hmm.
And I'm like, when you say when you look at taking on a project, then as you say,
Yes.
they're already asking you to bring gear
Yeah.
and everything else and your knowledge that you've obviously acquired.
Hmm.
Are you do you think you then overlook the creativity of the project? Do you think the first thing you look for is,
I think
right,
for
I
me,
want,
first thing is the script. I need to read the script before anyone comes up to me. Comes to me and says, do you want to be part of this project? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I think first things first is read the script. I need to
yeah,
know what it's about. If I really feel it. I think sometimes you shouldn't always take projects just for the money. You should really, feel the script and feel like, wow, this is something I can really get behind. This is something I'm passionate about, and this is something that I really want to, work with you on. I can
nice.
visually see it. As a
Yeah,
DOP, you want to visually see it.
yeah, that's what we like to hear.
Okay.
So that's where we wanted to get to. So obviously, like as I've probably said, we're about to start tucking into some food. But
Yeah.
when you are on set, and as you said, like when you go to a zero budget set, like the least you expect is to be fed and watered.
Yeah.
So if anyone was listening is like craving a DOP right now and is
Yeah.
like desperately in need of a DOP, if someone was to say to you, look, all I can do is food and drink for you,
Yeah.
what food and drink do they need to have on set?
It's a very, very good question, and you appreciate that. So, food, I don't know. When it comes to me on set, and you probably know this very well, Thomas, I'm not a big eater on
You're
set.
not.
I'm very much
You're easy to
I'm
please.
focused,
Yeah.
and I find it hard to sit still almost, to sit down and have a meal, which is important to sit down and have a meal, and I'm trying to do that more now when I come on set, because it does get the energy back up. Um, but what do I like on set? I would say probably like a cheese straw is a pretty good shout, and I think that maybe comes from
A
you.
cheese straw.
Yeah, something light,
Okay.
something little, maybe like an apple, bit of fruit, um, and
Right, and what would you drink?
drink straight up water,
And that's it.
straight up
You're
water.
telling me I can
You
invite
want
you
some
on the
water?
next set with water and a cheese straw
Yeah,
and you'd come on
hell
set?
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. So, right.
Maybe. Oh, okay,
So everyone
okay, okay.
listening is going to be like, right, Ollie, all I can afford is a cheese straw and some water. You're right to come on board.
Maybe
You'll be like,
okay. Maybe like a
yes.
Red Bull or something as well.
And a
Not
Red
a Red
Bull.
Bull actually, no, because I don't like
God,
that.
you push the boat out.
Mountain Dew,
You're nice and easy to please. So
Mountain
I
Dew,
don't have to be like,
Mountain
oh, I
Dew,
have to
water,
cook
and a
him
cheese straw.
Mountain Dew, water,
Just
and a
like a
cheese straw.
beer after set.
After that. Nice and easy
Once we're
to
done
please.
filming,
Well,
once
that's
we're
what
done
we
filming.
like. So why have you picked DOP though?
Um,
and not anything else? What makes you want to
I
be
think it stemmed
DOP?
from being a photographer. I never, wanted to be a DOP. I never, as a kid, thought I would be doing this. When I was a kid, I want to be a banger racer.
A
Believe it or not,
banger
yeah,
racer.
I wanted to be a banger racer, which is
Okay.
weird. But that's what I wanted to do, and I think it just sort of fell into place. Starting off being a photographer, like I say, it stemmed from my nan taking photos of her cats, and she's saying to me, it's pretty good. So it came from that, and I started doing various other things, and then started getting paid for some things, and then videography came into play. I think, and that's where I started to find my love for videoing, and then DOPing,
Okay.
and cinematographer. But I've always loved film. But that really
Yeah.
stems from my mum and dad. I think
And when
that
you're looking at film, what I assume the main thing you're looking at is the camera work.
Yeah, I mean, not always. Sometimes it's quite annoying that you get sort of fixated on that. So it's not always that I want to be thinking about, oh, how was that shot? How was that? Because it doesn't, because that way I can't feel a film, and that way I can't really enjoy a film if
Do you
I'm just
struggle to
judging
watch?
it, if
Do
I'm
you?
judging it the whole time.
Yeah. Do you think you struggle to watch a film then sometimes?
Sometimes, but I've
Like a
gotten
new
better at
film.
it. I've gotten better at it now. I feel like I'm really, if it's a good film, you get lost in a film. And like I say, if you're watching a good film, you don't feel like you are watching it. You
Yeah.
feel like you're just watching a story. So,
No.
um, yeah, that's how I sort of feel on that.
Okay. And then you're saying like you started going into videography
Mm-hmm.
before you started kind of going on to DOP.
Mm-hmm.
And so when did above productions come into
Oh
play?
yeah. So,
And where did
so
above
Above
come from?
Productions was originally. There's a funny story about that. Was actually meant to be a clothing brand that I wanted to do, and I came up with the
Okay.
with the name Above. And I
Where
thought,
did
oh, that's
above come
really good.
from?
I really love that name. I really love it. It's above and beyond. Above and beyond everyone else. I think it just came to my head. I was on a walk. I remember I was on a walk, and I thought, Above. That's a good name to come
And you
up
just
with.
run with it
Yeah, I
since.
run with it. Yeah, and
Okay.
I mean, it's not a massive page. It's done well. We've worked with a few high-end people, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's what. Yeah, where it came
And has above got any work coming up?
from. Yeah, I guess so.
What have we got coming up?
I
You
don't
got
know.
no.
I must have
You've
something
got.
coming
I'm
up.
sure you've
Yeah.
got some shoots coming up. So you'll think about it later, and we can come back to it.
Okay.
But if you haven't got any off the top of your head, if you can't think of work coming up, have you got any ideas that you've kind of got in the pipeline just for yourself? Have you got any like
Um,
passion projects that you're doing?
Passion projects. Obviously, I've done like Talk, for instance, which was a
Yeah.
mental health platform, which I've done with myself and then Charlie Haig as well. But I think in the future, yes, Talk will be back. But at the moment,
And is so
lots of
talk
things
the
going on.
only thing you've got on your plate at the moment?
The 60 mil film that we're meant to be doing at the end of the month with
What's that?
him, Hiker's Trip.
And I assume I know the idea, but no one else does. So like,
Yeah, I mean,
just give us
that
a
is a
brief
six.
concept.
Okay, so the Hiker's Trip is a passion 60 mil film that I'm going to do at some point in my life of some guy who takes some mushrooms and starts tripping out. But the
In
thing,
simple, that's it, isn't it?
that's literally it. But the thing with 60 mil, it has such a feel for it. That's why I wanted to choose it, do it on 60 mil, and not on digital.
Obviously, as it's the Zero Budget Filmmakers podcast,
Yeah, hell yeah.
what is the budget going to be for the hiker's trip?
Oh God, paying everyone in food, sandwiches.
So,
So
are we all coming
so
to set getting a Mountain Dew, a cheese string, and some
Yes.
water?
Well, I mean, what I was originally going to do is make out my sandwiches, make sure there's enough food there for everyone. But yeah, that's pretty much zero budget. I mean, I'm having to pay out of my own pocket
Yeah,
this 16 mil film,
yeah,
which costs £160, which is
yeah.
a lot, really, a
It
lot of
is,
money for 3 minutes worth of footage. So I guess that is
and
a
that's
zero.
3 minutes worth of footage that you can't get
No,
wrong.
yeah, you can't get wrong. It's very true. I'm not going to buy another one because it's too expensive, and I don't have the budget for it.
Yeah,
So would you class that as zero budget, Tom?
yeah,
You would.
yeah. Because
I think I would
as
as
I said,
well.
zero budget is. I'm not talking like pence. As I said, zero budget is the little bit that you can save from your wage
Yeah,
that literally takes you to make a film.
yeah,
The bare minimum, the bare bones to make a film. Like,
mhm,
no film can be 0-0
no,
because even if you're shooting on a phone, your phone costs
yeah,
money.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
if you're
It's
shooting
so
on a
true.
camera, the
Yeah,
camera costs money. So nothing can. I'm not saying anything can be 0-0 budget, but I'm
yeah,
saying a zero budget film is not 8K, is not
no,
50K, is not 100K,
hmm,
is not Argyle that had so many millions of pounds
yeah,
behind it. A zero budget film is people like me and yourself that just
Yeah.
run and gun, have
Yeah.
something, an idea, and go and shoot
having the
it.
people around you that, love you and wanna, and believe in your project. I think that's
Exactly.
such an important thing. It's about, making friends and, having the people there that, trust the project and, just wanna have a good time and get that experience as well.
100%.
And that's, great from people wanting to do stuff for free, and you have to, really appreciate their time and, thank them a lot, and be a good friend to them.
100%. So now you've said it on the Zero Budget
Yeah.
Filmmakers podcast. What are
No
we
budget.
what is your next aim for the next week, month,
Oh,
and year?
oh, hell yeah.
So next week,
For
where do you
me,
want to be?
next week, let's say, start off doing YouTube.
Nice.
If anyone, listening.
And
Yeah,
what YouTube channel's that on? Plug it.
Oliver Davis DOP it's called. I think I'm probably going to have to change that at some point.
I mean,
But yeah, at the moment, it's Oliver Davis DOP. So on the YouTube channel, we're doing lighting tutorials, cinematic lighting tutorial using 2 lights, very simple, nothing too crazy. 2-minute video, so very quick if you want to watch it.
are we going to get another one done by next week?
I would like to, yeah. I would like to be consistent with it. So
Nice.
that would be the goal for next week. Maybe getting another video out there.
And then in a month's time, so what? Come the beginning of October,
All
where are
right,
we going to
month's
be?
time, doing more short films. Maybe getting on a bigger budget. Getting on somewhere
Okay.
where we can, rent some cameras or some glass. Because a lot of the time I'm using my own gear, which
Yeah.
is nice. Sometimes I'm being paid for it. Sometimes I'm not. But yeah, maybe just on something a bit bigger, a bit better.
Nice. And in a year. So this
Yeah,
time next
let's
year,
go.
when the Zero Budget Filmmaker podcast has blown up,
Got those
where are we
budget.
next year?
We're broke, babe. We're in the overdraft.
You're in the overdraft. What have we bought? Camera, lenses, the budget for the thing.
Okay, for a year, I would like to be full-time doing it. Full-time doing it. 'Cause like I say, I'm
Okay.
part-time doing it at the moment. But doing, I don't, like I said to you guys before, it's going well at the moment, but nothing ever lasts forever. And it's just sort of, I would like to be doing it full-time. It would be my answer, full-time. Doing
Full-time
filmmaking.
videography or full-time
Full-time
DOP?
cinematography. Let's go.
Cinematography.
DOP, yeah. That's what I love. That's what I want to do. And sometimes in life, you just have to take that leap of faith. It might not work for you. It might do. But at the end of the day, you can still say that if you look back on your years on your deathbed and go, I really went for that. Even if I didn't
Yeah.
make it, I went for it. And that's a
Good.
lot of the time. More people will just never go for it. So
Good. So that's everything I've got for you.
that's my final message.
So let's obviously
I'm
let's
out, baby. Mic drop.
let's do your last few plugs. What do you want to
Okay.
plug?
I'm a DOP. I love what I do. I'm a good guy to work with. I'll put 100% effort into everything if I believe in it. Even if I'm not getting paid, let's work together. Let's do it. Let's make something good. Let's make a bloody movie. Let's go, G. And I'm out.
And sign it out. Magic. There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Easy as that to do a podcast.
Okay.